Mic check, mic check. Hey, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me okay, and can we see my screen okay? Maybe just type it up here in the YouTube chat. I'm kind of waiting on other people to join in for the time being, so we're just going to give it a few more moments before we officially get started. So just stay patient with me. We're going to start very soon. Mic check, mic check. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I think we're ready. I think we're ready to go ahead and get started here. All right, going into today. Wow, what a day yesterday was. We're on the 5-minute time frame here for SPY. This was a big drop. That was a very big drop. But then this is a full recovery all the way back up to the almost to the opening price. About what is that, $1, and a half off? Yeah, so a full recovery. And then so we fast forward into this morning and it drops all the way back down and then almost recovers back up before dropping a little bit more. So what are we seeing here? I'm looking at this as kind of like indirection, right? Like if I were to connect all of these points and I were to connect these 2 points at the bottom, today feels like it could be an inside day where this just continues to consolidate out, or it feels like we might get a directional move up or down from all of this. Which way we go? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? So I think that going into today on SPY, we need to be more conservative with our levels to both sides so that we're not getting faked out on anything. With it being a gap down this morning on SPY, I am looking towards the previous day's closing price to set my level at. But yesterday's run up here at the end of day and then this kind of after hours consolidation above 694 makes me want to move my line up $1 to 695. So that's what I've done for the long level on SPY. Is I'm just looking for the red to green move on the reclaim of the previous day's closing price here and the run up beyond yesterday's end of day high. So that would be, for me, enough confirmation to say, okay, you know what, maybe SPY's reversing and running back up topside and, you know, I don't know, we can get crazy and start to look for all-time highs again. Now, to the short side, there was that big sell-off yesterday, right? But just because this happened yesterday, it doesn't mean that it has to happen going into today. A lot of you might want to be more aggressive with the short level and place it up here at 690. I wouldn't be totally opposed to that, but you've got to be very careful that this doesn't open up, flash sell down, and then reverse right back up. And then you're stuck going short on a drop move like this only to close it as it moves right back up. So I think the better level here, you want to be a little more conservative, is just go off of the pre-market low somewhere, so 687 or 688, and then use yesterday's low of day as your potential price target for your short position. So if you're going short at like 688, for example, and this hits yesterday's low of day, well, you know that that's potential support, so you can take your profits down here. So I like the short level at 688 on SPY. I like the long level at 695 on SPY, and that's what I have on my watch list. And just so you can see, this is the first time that I'm looking at all of this with you in real time, so I've not pre-planned anything here. We are doing raw analysis together. So if you're new to technical analysis or new to trading, or you're not super well versed in what constitutes a high probability setup or how to go about creating a trading plan, I'm doing that for you right now. So pay attention, right? Take notes if you have to, but definitely take mental notes of this stuff. Number 2 is Meta. I'm actually bullish on this. Meta is one of the only names, so it gapped up right from the earnings report, did not give us a continuation yesterday, but it did recover fully into the end of day from that drop. I know the chart kind of looks crazy here, but yes, Meta opened up, it did sell, found support somewhere, and then bounced and rallied all the way back up to the high from the earnings report gap up. So going into today, naturally, we're just going to look for follow through from that. It is a slight gap down this morning, but with it being a post-earnings trade idea, we do expect to see increased volatility. I mean, Meta was moving, $30, $40 yesterday on these drops. So we do expect to see increased volatility here. We are going to look for the reclaim of that previous day's closing price, and we are going to look for a break of yesterday's high of day area, not necessarily the high of day. There's a few levels you can go off of, 744, 741, 740, or 738. I don't know that, especially with increased volatility, I don't know that $2 or $3 is going to make a huge difference. I tend to not go off of wicks, so I don't like the 744 line. And with 738 being the previous day's close, you would think that that would be a good line, but then you have yesterday's closing price up here at like 741. So 740 or 741 is the level for Meta today. I think we can just rock with 740. We'll kind of round it and then just understand that this whole area gets a little sketchy in terms of resistance, but as long as this stays above 738 once reclaiming it, you should be good to go. It should be okay, because the whole idea of a red to green move is that once it reclaims that previous day's closing price, whether it runs like this and pulls back, or whether it runs like this and pulls back, the idea is once it pulls back to test that PDC, it should hold it as support if this is going to continue up from there. So where we set the long level beyond the PDC really doesn't matter. We're just making sure to reference back to that 738 line today. So long idea above $740. Let's go ahead and put this on the watch list. And for our notes, we're going to say post-earnings continuation trade idea. And it really can just be that simple. Microsoft. Next one on the watch list. This did give us a gap down, and it did give us a sell. Go to the daily time frame. What's interesting is where Microsoft sold off to. I don't know if you can see this. It might be a little small on your screen, but where Microsoft sold off to, this is a gap from a previous earnings report. So this drop yesterday down to 721, it does partially fill that gap. So you have a remaining gap. Let me zoom in. This chart is getting wonky because it's making such big moves. So you have a remaining gap below that looks like this, and you've got a gap now overhead that looks like that. So Microsoft is a double gap play. Anything that prints outside of yesterday's price action, whether that's a higher high or a lower low, works on filling a gap for Microsoft. So we go to the 5-minute time frame. Again, anything that prints outside of yesterday's high of day or yesterday's low of day works on filling a gap for Microsoft. So that's our levels. That's what we're going to set our levels off of. The gap, 442.5, and it looks like 421 below. So we set 2 trend lines there, and then we can eliminate these gaps if we need to, but those are your 2 levels for Microsoft. We're just working off of the gap, straddling all of yesterday's price action, and looking for any outside day here. So long idea on Microsoft above 442.5, and it's going to be a short idea, tight idea, short below 421. And here we can say post-earnings trade idea looking for an outside day. An outside day just means something that's not printing inside of yesterday's price action. So a post-earnings trade idea looking for an outside day to partially, I'll put partially in parentheses because it could totally fill, to partially fill the gap to either side. So no bias here, though it is trading closer to the resistance rather than the support, but Microsoft is selling for a reason, so possibly this uptrend trend line breaks. I know it's a bit of a stretch that it's going to get way down here and continue down, but like I said, it's post-earnings. And yesterday we had a fairly large drop, right? So in the overall market. So maybe there's a chance it could still get there. So I like these 2 levels for Microsoft today. Tesla. This is also a post-earnings trade idea. This had a larger move up at the after-hours session yesterday. Okay, so Tesla, I did not put Tesla on the watch list yesterday, and maybe I should have, because I certainly would have said something like this, short below like 430 or 431, and then when this opens and drops and then retests 431, I mean, this is a perfect short entry to run this down lower. I do wish that I had put Tesla on the watch list, but I'll tell you why I didn't, because it had a pre-market high and low here, and then where it was opening, it felt like it was a 50-50 shot if it was going to move up or down, and then I just didn't expect it to make that big of a move, really. So missed opportunity there for me. But the good thing about a missed opportunity is that it gives you confirmation, and well, we can look for follow through. So easily put, Tesla's low of day, Tesla's previous day's close and low of day area is 416. I think 415 is more accurate here. 415, right? That's your low of day for Tesla. So from yesterday. So this becomes your short level, and then your long level, this is kind of subjective here because we do have this after hours pump, but then this lower high formation. So we could go aggressive with the long level and say, we think Tesla's going to break the downtrend trend line. We think Tesla's going to recover. We think Tesla's going to make this kind of move that it made in the after hours session yesterday, which would be really nice going into today, right? So we could be very aggressive with the long level at 428, or if you wanted to be more conservative, place it at 432. Those are the only 2 levels that I would work off of going into today. So it kind of, like I said, gets subjective. Depends on what you want to do. If you're more aggressive on this and you think Tesla's going to recover, long at 428. Otherwise, if you want to be a little more conservative, long at 432. I tend to lean more towards the conservative side. I like the long at 432. I just want to be sure if I'm going long on this that it's going to be moving up. So Tesla long above 432, short below 415. It's a pretty wide spread between those 2 levels, but again, after earnings reports, we do expect to see increased volatility. So hopefully we get enough of a move today to be able to capitalize on that. And again, we'll put post-earnings trade idea here on watch for more direction to be established. All right, up next is Hood. Hood sold off, and I wish that I had held my position yesterday a little longer. Some of you were asking me like, "Oh, did you trade? Did you trade?" Because I didn't post too much, I guess, about trade reviews, my personal trades that I took on Instagram yesterday. But if you're in the Discord server, you know I trade live Monday through Thursday. If you're in the Discord server, you know we traded live. So 1 minute time frame. Here's the breakdown of the trades I took on Hood yesterday. It was a break below 103, short idea below 103. You get the break below here, the break of this consolidation. And I'll tell you what, Hood did this same exact thing the day prior. Let me go back and show you this. This is how I knew to take my entry as early as I did, because Hood did this same exact thing. Watch. It's an opening consolidation that breaks down, right? And when it broke down, it's like you better go for it on the first retest of this breakdown because you're going to miss the move. And this doesn't look like much, but I mean, that's a fairly large move for a stock priced at $100. A couple percentage points that moved there. So look, it's consolidation at the open that broke down. Now check this out. Going into yesterday, this is the same thing. It's consolidation at the open that broke down. So this time when I saw that happen, because I saw it the day before, when I saw it happen again, I was like, okay, yeah, I know this. We're not going to miss this one. When it rallied, retested 103, go short, right? So I took the short entry there, sold it into the profits here as we got to move down into the low of day. I think this was like 25 or 30% profit. I did hold for more. I was looking for more. When it rallied, I closed it out at break even. But when we got the retest of 103, I was like, okay, I know this is a point of resistance. Let's look for the break of the uptrend trend line. When we got that, I sold it at 20% there because my fear was it was going to hit low of day and potentially bounce. That didn't happen. It just continued to sell. So what I should have done on the second trade was exactly what I did on the first trade, which was take some profits and then try to scale out. But I didn't do that, and it cost me quite a bit of profits. I left some good money on the table here on Hood yesterday. But yeah, some of you were asking me if I took any trades. I did, and those two trades right there were a couple that I did take. So 5-minute time frame on Hood going into today. Obviously, this name has been pretty weak. With the breakdowns, we should be looking for a further breakdown. What is really skewing this and messing us up is the fact that we've got this after hours rally and recovery on, and even yesterday's recovery on SPY. It's like, if we're going to sell, just sell. You know, I don't want this back and forth, back and forth. So the short idea is going to be underneath the $100 hold number, right? I would say let's short right at 100, but yesterday's low of day found support actually at 99.5. So Hood is going to be a short idea below 99.5. We could set a long level here because, well, you might argue that 100 is a whole number. It's a natural point of support. Hood could bounce. I hear you, I hear you, I hear you, and I agree with you on all of that. But I think we have better setups out there to go long on than this one that feels kind of bearish to me. I mean, yeah, just look at this on the daily, right? Break of the consolidation there, failure to hold the 200 EMA support, break to $100 whole number. I mean, maybe it holds here and bounces, but we definitely should be looking for lower lows if it does hold and bounce going into next week. So Hood short below 99.5, and that's the only level I'm setting on this one today. Nvidia. Next one on the watch list. I added Nvidia to the focus list yesterday because Nvidia made a full recovery. It looks like Meta. I mean, this is a proper, it's called a V-shape recovery. A V-shape recovery where you just have this super aggressive sell-off and then an immediate recovery. There's no stutter stepping, there's no stuttering here. It's not doing this. It is just pretty much linear all the way up. One session, that's a V-shape recovery. So this is bullish. This is bullish. And I was looking for the break of 193. It looks like the gap down here kind of pulls 193 out of play. Feels kind of far away, but I'm going to add it to the watch list anyways, just for right now. And if we find something better, we'll remove it. So we'll go Nvidia over 193. I'm just going to put a couple of question marks there. So the analysis here is simple because it doesn't really change from what we were looking for yesterday going into today. We just want to see, let me show you this on the daily. We just want to see a break of this resistance. We just want to see a break of this resistance. This is 1 month between this line, and this is about a half a month, well, a quarter of a month, maybe a third. So this is like a month and a third of price action that has just been doing nothing. And beyond that, you know, we can even argue that all of this time frame, Nvidia has been doing nothing. It's a couple of months that this stock's just been consolidating. And if we want to even go crazier here, make this whole range, you know, really wide. Look, now we're at like 6 months of Nvidia stuck between these two lines, the static resistance and static support. So this is a big deal. This is a big deal. If it breaks 193, there's a good chance this runs to 200 pretty easily. And then beyond that, you start looking to the all-time highs. So we're trying to catch the start of that recovery move back up, or the start of that breakout move back up, if it is going to happen. So while 193 does feel pretty far away from where Nvidia is currently trading at right now, it could surprise us, and it's worth it to keep a watch on this. So Nvidia over 193 for now. We'll see if we've got anything better that might replace it. Let's move on to Apple. Apple post earnings trade idea. So this right here immediately tells me that direction has not been established, and I'm not a super fan of this, because if direction has not been established from, so this is earnings, right? And I mean, this is a bunch of chop. I mean, this is a flat open for Apple, which is, you guys know, earnings reports can get wild. It is very, very, very rare that you see a stock report earnings and then open right at the close, right at where it closed at. It's pretty rare that that happens. So direction has not been established. I didn't even look at the report for Apple. I don't know what was put out. I probably should have looked, but I just figured that the market's going to tell me what the sentiment's going to be here. And it's not telling me anything, which leads me to believe that if Apple opens and runs, maybe that's just a fake out, and then this could sell. Or maybe this could sell, and then it could just run back up. Or maybe it doesn't even make any movement at all. Maybe it takes a full day for this to just... So could it be worth it to put it on the watch list? Yes, absolutely. It's the day after earnings. Apple could definitely make a move. But is there anything here in this price action that is telling us this is high probability? Is there anything here telling us that the direction has been established? No, not really, right? Maybe if I see this point of support, right? Maybe you see it too, here, here, and here. So perhaps if Apple was opening up close to here, then we can say short below 254 for the recovery move down. But it's not there. The long level, I mean, yeah, maybe you'd be looking at like 260 or up here, 261, 262. I don't know. The long is kind of, the short level here could be pretty solid, but the long level is where it gets subjective. So anyways, there's nothing here that I see on Apple that's letting me know that this should be on the watch list today. So for that reason, I'm going to skip it. PLTR up next. PLTR, yes, so has earnings coming up, but next week. PLTR has been selling. We noted this breakdown right here on the daily into a bear flag here, into a sell-off, right? And PLTR has been kind of tough to catch because this opening drop yesterday, I mean, unless you're market buying on that drop, you miss this move. And if you do market buy on this drop, you're chasing. And it's not a good practice to get into. Though it worked this time, it would have worked. It's not a good practice to get into. And then the day prior, it did drop, but it just took a while to break down from this descending triangle. So it's kind of like a midday mover here. So while PLTR has been selling, it has been fairly difficult to catch these sells the past couple of days. But we're going to look for lower lows anyways. Short idea under $147. That's going to be a break below your low of day from yesterday as well as your pre-market low. I like this one. It's pretty solid. PLTR below 147. Next one on the watch list is Google. This one did make a recovery move up yesterday, and the only reason I added it to the watch list is because I want to look for the break of 340 or the break of 341 or 342. I want to look for new all-time highs. Remember the analysis that I did on Sunday. It has not changed all week. Google has just been consolidating here, not doing anything. Going into today, we wanted to look for that all-time high, the break of yesterday's high of day from the gap up, which is roughly 343. It's not trading near 343 right now. So I'm just going to set an alert up here, and we're probably not going to put this one on the watch list either. I mean, Google would have to make a 3% move to get there, and then would have to move another 2% or so. Maybe not. Maybe 1.5%, 2%. It'd have to move. It'd have to move 3% to get there, and it has to move beyond that for us to profit. And that's a really, really exceptional day. Could it happen? Yes. Is it likely to happen? Probably not. So Google not going to make the watch list today. And that wraps up our entire focus list. Let's roll through this big list here and see if there's anything out there that looks crazy or maybe something that we might have missed. Okay, so Meta, did we put a short level here? We did not, but there is a gap below. We can put a short level. So let's go ahead and do that right now. The gap will start at 713 roughly. Is that right? Yeah, 713. So the gap starts at 713, so that becomes our short level below. So let's go ahead and add that to the watch list, just in case this sells off. Short below 713. So there is a gap to be filled here. So I'm glad that we checked that. All right, now when I'm going through these charts, I'm going to go very quickly. If you've never seen me do this before, I'm going to be going this fast, just like this. What I'm looking at is this section here, boom. This section here, boom. This section right here, next one, boom. So the pre-market price action, that's all that I'm looking at. And what I'm looking for is any like higher volume, right? If I see blue bars in the pre-market, notice we're not seeing them unless you really, really zoom in. If I can see blue bars when I'm not zoomed in, that's telling me there's a lot of volume in the pre-market. That's telling me there's likely news on that name. And what I'm also looking for is anything that looks out of the ordinary. Perhaps something like this. MU at the all-time high. Wow, 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 wow. The bears are getting absolutely slaughtered on MU. Everybody that told me at the beginning of the week when I posted my analysis on Sunday that I was looking for MU to break 400 and run into all-time highs, and they were like, well, you're crazy, this is an extended stock, blah, 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 I'm going to go short, it's going to sell. Look at them now. This moved another $50 from 400, another $50 topside. You know, I tell people this, I'm passionate about it, so I'm speaking with some enthusiasm here, but please trade what you see. Trade what you see. Don't trade what you think is going to happen. Trade what you see is happening. Stocks that are in motion tend to remain in motion. It is hard for a name to just stop and reverse on a dime. V-shaped recoveries, we've talked about it already this morning. Those don't happen very often. It's not very often that you get a full retrace V-shaped recovery. It does happen, but it's not super, super, super common. So the point is, when a stock is moving in a direction, it is easier for it to continue to move in that direction rather than reverse. So if you see MU running at all-time highs, why would you go short on this? Why would you be bearish on this? Look at it now. Gapped up into further all-time highs. So this is easy. Yeah, we just look for a break of the pre-market high. I mean, I don't have any qualms about putting MU on the watch list today because this name has been an absolute unit. It continues to surprise everybody. It continues to run. It continues to recover. All these dips continue to get bought. Yeah, this is just a beast of a stock right now. Put it on the watch list long above 458, break at the pre-market high. We are looking for new all-time highs on MU today. Wow, wow, wow. That might replace the Nvidia trade idea. All right, let's keep rolling and see if we can find anything else that looks, again, out of the ordinary, something that looks a little different. And another thing about MU too, you know, is that it's gapped up while a lot of these names seem to be gapping down this morning. So that already kind of puts it in a category on its own. All right, so this would be interesting to me. This is interesting to me. So this is AMD. It's a gap down, But it's right here. This is what's interesting. This big candle and then this move up. So what is the news? There might be news here. 819 Nvidia stock slips. Okay. Maybe it's this. No, that's an upgrade. Adjust price target to 335 from 300. That's actually an upgrade there. Maybe there's news on this that hasn't been posted yet. Can somebody, let's check. I'm going to check Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter account, you should, or X, if you have an X account, you should have one. Even if you think you're too old for it, because that's how I felt. I was like, I'm too old for Twitter. I'm not going to be tweeting all day. You don't even have to post anything. There's this thing called not FinViz. Well, it used to be called FinTwit, but it's financial Twitter. And you have a bunch of really, really smart people on here. But people will program bots to post news as well. So as soon as news comes out, they'll post it immediately on Twitter. So a lot of times, if you see a move like this and you can't figure out what it is from the news widget on Thinkorswim or anywhere else, or like CNBC, check Twitter. A lot of times you'll find it on Twitter first. I don't see anything here. I don't see anything here though why this would be selling. But it is down. So maybe it's something that people know that just hasn't come out yet. I like this, though, because it matches yesterday's low of day, which would give us a continuation drop on this name. And we don't have a lot of names that look like immediately ready for a continuation drop. So let's go AMD short below your pre-market low, 239. Let's go 238. Let's go $1 off because I feel like this is going to continue to move. Let's go short below $238, and we add this one to the watch list. We'll just put it right at the bottom for now. And then we'll tighten this up and clean it up in just a second. See, so that's why we go, that's why we go through these extra names. Looks like gold is finally the gold rush, the great gold rush of 2026 seems to be, I don't want to say over. Dare I say over? I don't think it's over, but seems to be correcting. This was a sell-off. Yep, and so you got follow-through down this morning as well. You know what's funny too? I'll tell you this real quick. If you see something about stocks that's coming from people that you know that don't trade stocks, that's your sign to not touch it. Or that's your sign to sell your to take your profits. If everybody and your mom starts talking about it, if you see friends talking about it that don't trade, it's time to sell and take profits. Just yesterday, let me tell you this, just yesterday, I saw somebody post something on Facebook, and it was a friend of mine, personal friend. I'm not going to mention any names, but a personal friend of mine that I know in real life posted on Facebook, you should be buying gold right now. And I was like, that lit a fire inside of me. I wanted to slap this person in the face. I'm like, why would you tell everybody to be buying gold right now? This person doesn't even trade, by the way. So perhaps it was just ignorance. But I was like, somebody that doesn't trade, doesn't really invest, and is saying to buy gold while it's at the freaking all-time highs after it's made this kind of run, this is a horrible investment right now. And I was like, okay, it's probably time for people to start taking profits then. If beyond retail people are making stock suggestions and investment decisions, suggestions, yeah, it's time to get out. So yeah, that started the. Hopefully nobody's getting trapped up there at the top for gold. All right, let's keep rolling. Get through these pretty quickly here. I know we're getting short on time. We're going to go through this, check our levels, post the watch list, edit the watch list and post the watch list, and then we should be good to go to trade for the day. By the way, today is Friday. I am taking the day off personally. I'm not going to be trading live today. I'm not going to be trading at all. Not in my personal account or anything like that. It's been a long week, and I've got a lot. I'm sure you've seen my Instagram story. Maybe you haven't, but I've got a lot of stuff going on in my external, like outside of the trading world, that I need to take care of. Plus, I like to use Fridays as a reset. I'm pretty mentally drained from the week. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but these past 2 weeks have been really exhausting. Like mentally, they've just been super exhausting weeks. But I'm glad now that we've got, a lot of these big earnings out of the way. So I am excited to see what next week is going to bring. But I feel like I just need a long weekend. I'm like, I just need to take a Friday off and reset my mind. Maybe take Friday and Saturday off, reset my mind, and then come back Sunday with some really good analysis and be ready to go on Monday. All right, let's tighten this list up. So I'm going to pull this up here so I can see it. And we're going to go through this very quickly, and we'll get the watch list out there. So SPY, long idea above 695, short below 688. Looks good. Meta, long idea above 740, short below 713. Looks good. Microsoft, long above 442.5, short below 421. Looks good. Tesla, long above 432, short below 415. Looks good. Look, if I'm going too fast for you right now, this stream is available for you to go and play back once I end it. So if you missed the beginning, just once I end this stream, rewind it. Go watch it from the beginning. All right, Hood. Next one on the list, short below 99.5. Looks good. Nvidia over 193. Looks good. We are going to leave that on the watch list. PLTR below 147. Looks good. MU over 458. Looks good. And then we've got AMD below 238, which looks good. So the only change that I need to make here is I'm going to put Nvidia on the main chart. Nvidia long above 193. On watch for a break of the month-long consolidation period on the daily chart time frame. One thing before you go and take off. I don't know if you know this, and this is specifically to those of you who are in the Discord server. I don't know if you know this, but here, let's get this posted first. You can trade live with each other. So you know how we usually will join into the arena and then I trade live here? Well, just below the arena is another channel. It's called Open Chat. If you join into Open Chat, you all have voice permissions there. So you can talk to each other and trade with each other and look for confirmations together if you want to. You don't have to. Some of you like to be solo traders. I get it. But if you want to bounce ideas off of each other, head over into the Open Chat. You have the power to speak in that channel among each other. So I don't know, maybe you want to network or hang out or trade together or whatever you want to do. But the Open Chat is there for you. All right. Take good care of your account today. It's Friday. It's Friday after a crazy week at that. There's no reason to be going crazy and blowing your account. Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. This has not really been a risk-on environment this week. I mean, yesterday was pretty good, but even then, you didn't need a lot of money on the table on your positions to make a lot of money because we had such big moves. So capital preservation is number one. There were a lot of you yesterday when we ran this Q&A session yesterday after we traded live. There were a lot of you that were like, Gates, I'm green on the week now after yesterday. I'm green on the month. I've made X amount of profit this month. I'm so happy and proud for you all. But the month is not over yet. You still have today. So do not ruin where you're at this month or this week on today. Size down if you have to. I would recommend sizing down anyways, but size down if you have to, especially if you're trading the same day expiration contracts. And please don't let anything get out of hand. Save yourself. We've got an account challenge coming up, and you got to have funds for that. Cool. All right, good luck today. Trade safe, trade your plan. I hope this analysis helped this morning. I don't have a top stock pick of the day, so everything on the watch list, these are all my top picks. So just trade what moves, ignore what doesn't. Cool. All right, good luck today, and I hope you all make a ton